When you think about what Saquon Barkley has been to this Giants team, if he is not there for week 1, let's take training camp out of the scenario here, okay? Because that's really not important. Let's just say for week 1, if he is not ready to go, what does that mean for Daniel Jones and for the Giants?
Well, the pressure obviously is on Daniel Jones, even with Saquon, but then Jason Garrett. Like, I think about offensive coordinators when you don't have weapons.
Yeah.
Like, how creative are you? How can you get these guys ready to play? And look, they made moves this offseason where they should be better from an offensive standpoint, but not having Saquon in that dimension. Saquon, so I tier running backs now, right? Like, we all knew it's 2021. We all knew we got to do new things. There is the Alvin Kamara, the Christian McCaffrey, the Saquon Barkley class. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Derrick Henry, the Nick Chubb, the guys that just you hand it off and they make things happen. Saquon Barkley is imperative because he's involved in the passing game. Like, and I can't wait to get to the season to really start having these conversations when we have games played, because we see the impact Kamara makes in New Orleans. Like, he's going to take some of the things away as far as pressure that Michael Thomas is not there, because we can add him into the passing game. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey coming back off an injury. So Saquon is in that same vein. I think the pressure is obviously on Daniel Jones. I mean, when you're a player, when you've been taken as high as he's been taken, when you look at what the New York Giants did this offseason as far as bringing in weapons from an offensive standpoint, especially on the outside, the pressure is on Daniel. But having Saquon is the key to the Giants making any type of noise in the NFC East.
Yeah.
And so with the addition of Barkley being back, being healthy, Jones another year in the system, Joe Judge year 2, where's the biggest leap that we could see tangibly as an expectation for these Giants this season?
One, Daniel Jones take care of the football. This team could win the NFC East. Yeah. Like that. I mean, listen, man, we all know when you have a quarterback that doesn't value that rock, you don't have a shot. Like, you just don't have a shot. Even if you're good enough to win games. And we saw the Giants at times play at a very high level. Saw them beat Seattle last year at the end of the year. Like, we see the talent on this team. We see what look, I was not convinced that Joe Judge was going to do a great job. He did a great job last year. Like, he formed the football team. He built the culture, built the mentality. Now it's about your quarterbacks taking care of the football, man. And once you get to that point, now we can start thinking about, okay, how creative can we be? What type of things can we do week in and week out with Daniel Jones? But he has to go out and answer those questions the first couple of weeks.
It feels like a make or break year for Daniel Jones in terms of deciding if this is going to be your franchise quarterback going forward, right? So if he's got another year of turnover issues and not being able to lead this team, I know he had a little bit of injury issues too down the stretch. Like, at what point do you make the decision, this is our guy or this is not?
Shay, Daniel Jones is in the same situation Baker Mayfield was last year.
Right.
Like, that's where he is. Right. And you don't know what clicks for these guys. Like, we watch Baker Mayfield, and it clicked because he was in a great system. He had a supportive run game. He had an offensive coordinator and a head coach in Stefanski that was not going to put him in bad situations. Yeah. And allowed him to play all of his strengths and get rid of those weaknesses that he showed as a quarterback. That's what Jason Garrett is tasked with. But the bottom line is, like, Daniel Jones, to me, he needs to play with more confidence. That's number one. Because the dude is uber talented. But like, if you see the things that he does well, when it's like popping off the film, you like, they have something.
But isn't that the O-line too? Every year I feel like the Giants are addressing that offensive line. It was something they addressed this offseason. Last season, it's always an issue.
Yeah, see, but so I always say, all right, and we know how vital the offensive line is, speaking of Baker Mayfield and what Cleveland did. But you got to play the games with the guys in front of you, right? Like, we know our situation. Like, we looked at, like, last year, looking at Dallas. You know the defense is bad. But you don't think that Tampa ain't going to try to go in there and put 50 on you? No, right. Like, so it is that, right? And we sit in media and we talk about, look, it's some things you got to overcome in this league, bro. And that's what the message needs to be to Daniel Jones. It's also, and that's why I keep saying Jason Garrett, because it's his responsibility as well. The one thing coaches always told us coming up, know your personnel. Like, you have to know what you do and don't do well. We saw it catch up to Pittsburgh late in the season. but they compensated for a bad offensive line early.
Yeah.
They got rid of the ball early, threw the ball. I mean, and I don't know if you can do that with Daniel. Big Ben is obviously advanced, and he's been doing it for a while. But the bottom line is, like, Jay, like, at the end of this season, if Daniel Jones don't play well, we ain't going to talk about the offensive line.
No.
We're going to talk about Daniel Jones.
It's on him. One thing I want to talk about quickly here. We still got a couple minutes left here.
Yeah, he's chilling for a while. Sorry, you ain't going anywhere here, Marcus
The
Spears.
NFC East.
Yeah.
I think, like, you talk about an uptick. This thing's going to look wildly different than what it did a year ago. Do you believe the Giants, it's theirs for the taking? I mean, you got Dallas there. You got the Washington football team there.
I think it's Dallas for the taking. And
You're going to do this again. We're all going to put our chips in on Dallas again. We're going to do it again.
Well, first of all,
I don't think this is a homer take. I don't think
I'm
this is a
not
homer
saying
take.
it's a homer take, but I'm just saying every year again we do this.
But see, here's the thing. I'm known as the resident lover and hater of the Cowboys, right? Like, because I'm realistic.
You're calling balls and strikes,
right? I did an interview a year ago, and a dude asked me, "Do you see the Cowboys winning a Super Bowl in the next 3 years?" I said, "Hell no, I don't. Like, I don't see the trajectory." But here's the thing about the Cowboys and why they're my pick. One, because I think I know Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in that division. Two, when we have conversations about the Cowboys, especially last year, we don't bring up all the things that went wrong. This team started 5 offensive linemen with a total of 2 games experience.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.